everybody, and welcome to another weekly update. I'm going to be sharing the Azure news with you and sharing some of my thoughts around this week, so stay tuned. Hey everybody, welcome to this weekly update. My name is Sarah Lean and thank you for joining me. If you do enjoy this video, please do hit that like button. It really does help encourage me to continue creating videos, and it also helps push this video out to a new audience as well. And if you really want to, please do so hit that subscribe button and join me for future videos as well. Now today in the Azure news, we have some announcements. It has been a bit quiet because we have Microsoft Ignite happening next week, and I imagine all the product teams are keeping all of the good news for then. But this week we have a few things that you need to take note of in terms of support retirements and some product retirements as well. So I'm going to get my notes out so that I make sure that I actually get this right. So the first one is there are certain virtual machine or VM SKUs, so sizes of virtual machines, types of virtual machines, that are no longer going to be dedicated, isolated hardware kind of hosts. So if you're using the E64i version 3 or the E64IS version 3, they're no longer going to be hardware isolated by the end of February 2021. So the end of this month. And that means that if you have a requirement for your virtual machines to be dedicated, to be isolated and dedicated away from everybody else within the Azure data centers, then you probably need to think about migrating to the Azure dedicated host scenario and service. If you're not worried about hardware isolation, then it's not something that you really need to worry about, but I wanted to highlight it in case anybody did have an issue with that. Now the next bit is that Python 3.6 goes end of support at the end of this year. I think it's the 23rd of December 2021. And that's Python that are kind of ending the support for that. Python 3.6 came out in 2016, so it is due to be retired. And what that means is if you're running an application within Azure App Service and you're using Python 3.6, it will no longer be in a supported type. I believe that we will still allow you to run it, but it won't be in a supported manner. So it's something to bear in mind and start to plan for happening in December this year. Now, the third thing that I wanted to highlight is definitely advanced planning on this one.
Folks, ignore me. I got this completely wrong. I got it the wrong way around. So it's the Azure Applications Gateway Analytics that will be retiring in 2024, and you should be swapping to the Azure Monitor Network Insights Workbook. So yeah, make sure you get that the right way round.
Those are three things that you need to be aware of and be planning for the retire or changing your plans if you're currently architecting something, and those three things are included in your architecture design. Now, for those that are watching the video, you'll see I'm outside today. It is a bit windy and there are some birds around, so hopefully it's not too bad in terms of the noise. I'm also standing right beside a little brook or a stream or a burn, and I'm taking advantage of the nice weather. It has been horrible the last week or so in terms of rain here in Scotland, and it's actually dry, it's actually sunny. In the sun, I probably actually don't even need to be wearing this hat because it's absolutely lovely. But yeah, I've wanted to show you a bit of local Scottish countryside and just do something different and get outside of my home office. I'm not sure if you can actually see this in the video, if you're watching the video right now. There's a trail here. You can just see a small path running along here on the ground. That's actually where the local deer are running through the forest, or this tree line. They started me a few weeks ago on a walk, and then I started discovering little tree trails where they're actually going through. So it's nice to see that they're here. I doubt they'll be here in the broad daylight with me talking and shouting on this video, but you know, it's nice to see that the wildlife is around and there's some local wildlife. Now, in terms of this week, I want to talk about being mindful and respectful of people's time. I've seen a lot of people saying that because we're at home right now, we're working from home, we're probably currently in lockdown here in the UK, here in Scotland we're still in lockdown, so we've got a stay at home kind of order. People are saying that because you don't have anything else to do, you have plenty of time to do extra work, more community activities, attend user groups, all of that kind of thing. And I am starting to get a little bit annoyed by the expectation that My time is everybody else's time, and my friend Kirk actually said it best. When I'm not working, my time is actually family time. So if I'm giving away that time, I'm giving away time that I could be spending with my family. So please be mindful when you're asking someone for something. If you message them and you don't get a response for a day or two, it's potentially because they're taking some time off, or they're taking some downtime, or they've turned their notifications off, and we'll get back to you. I think I am definitely guilty of not having my social media notifications on, not always checking my email, my Twitter, my Instagram, LinkedIn, all of that kind of stuff. And I sometimes take a while to get back to people. And that's just because I have so many inboxes, so many asks, and so little time that I have to kind of dedicate and bunch them up together. Another friend, Jamie, on Twitter has been talking about this recently. He bundles up his activities into bunches. So he was saying that he blogs once a week. He spends a couple of hours just writing blogs dedicated to that, making sure that he's in the right mind frame for doing that. Equally, some of his side projects. And that's kind of what I do. I bundle together, like answering emails, answering questions, answering inbox questions that have come in. So you might not get a response immediately from me, but you will get a response eventually. And I think we all have to be mindful of that. People are working at home. Some people are saying we're living at work right now. But please be mindful of that. Please be mindful that not everybody wants to be working 24/7, and there are still things to do. I have tons of hobbies that I can still do even though I'm at home. I definitely am not someone who is currently bored. During lockdown, I am annoyed that we're obviously in lockdown and I can't do certain things and see certain people, but I'm certainly not bored. I certainly have enough activities, enough side projects, enough hobbies, enough housework at home to keep me busy. I don't have to work 24/7, and I'm starting to push back. I'm starting to push back on the 12, 13, 14 hour days at work, and just finish at 5 p.m, 6 p.m, whatever it needs to be, in order to have that enough downtime. I'm finding if I work too late, I'm not getting enough sleep, and then it's a vicious cycle because the next day I'm not happy because I've not had enough sleep, and then I'm tired and I'm overtired, and by the end of the week it's just accumulated into me not having any motivation to do anything. So I'm being more mindful of that. So again, please be respectful of what everybody's doing. Everyone's trying to find their correct life-work balance, work-life balance. So yeah, please don't be horrible to people. And please don't advertise like your user group or your conference or your session as what I saw the other day. Someone say, you have nothing better to do because you're in lockdown, so come and see my session. I'll be honest, I actually muted that person. I unfollowed them and muted them because I thought that attitude is not the attitude that we should be having around how we want to advertise conferences, user groups and sessions. So yeah, if people make the time to come and watch your session, attend your user group, fantastic. If they don't, that's their choice, and please don't be to be honest about that. So yeah, that's my rant for this week. I'd love to hear if anybody else is how they're managing with this. If you need to chat, please do reach out to me. I'm happy to chat. And yeah, thank you for tuning into this video, this podcast, depending on where you are. Like I said at the start, if you've enjoyed this content, please do like it, please do subscribe and try and join me for my next videos. I have just ordered something new that I'm going to be doing an unboxing and a first impressions of on the channel in a few days time when it comes. So yeah, stay tuned for that, and I will catch you in my next video, everybody. Stay safe.